First up today, we're wondering, did anyone in your house get puppy paws, cat whiskers, or wagging tails over the holiday season? New pets are one of the most joyful gifts, but once the wrapping paper is gone, the real responsibility begins. And joining us now is Dr. Michael Q. Bailey, president of the American Veterinary Medical Association, with expert tips to help your newest family member get the best possible start. And Dr. Bailey brought Irving along with him today. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for being here, and Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you, and thank you for having myself and Irving.
Irving, what a sweet, sweet pup, just a loving pup. And speaking of which, there are probably lots of lucky families out there sitting at their homes like you are with their brand new puppy or cat. What is the first thing, Dr. Bailey, someone should do, especially if they're a new pet owner and they just got a new pet for Christmas?
Well, you know, I always tell people, go and meet your local veterinarian. Find out who it is you want to be part of your pet family health care. Because your veterinarian is going to be your partner throughout the life of your pet. We strongly recommend start that conversation even before you get the pet.
Very smart, especially if you're a brand new pet owner and all of this is extremely new to you.
Great.
That's a good point.
The pet family isn't just your veterinarian. We have veterinary technicians and veterinary technologists who also be part of that conversation. And they can all help you work through how do you integrate that pet into your family? How do you make sure that they are good socialized members of the neighborhood?
Right.
And of course, guiding you through things like nutrition.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Dental care, all of that.
Dental care is going to, February is our traditional dental month, so you're going to hear a lot of people talking about that coming up in February. But I tell you, if you want to make sure that your pet has a nice, long life, one of the best things you can do is make sure that they have great dental care throughout their entire life.
Okay, I'm feeling guilty. I'm like, okay, I've got to go home and take better care of my dog's dental care. I think that's something we forget to do. And there's other things that you say people should do, maybe forget to do when they get a new pet.
Well, there's always things like, let's start off. Have one of those RFI chips, one of those little chips in your pet, and make sure that you have the identification included in the chip and that you make sure the registration is always up to date. If you move from one side of town or one side of the country to the other, make sure that it's reflected in the registration so that if your pet does get lost, they know how to find you.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, you might do it once and then you forget about it. But if you move or just anything, you just want to make sure that's up to date.
And you'd be amazed at the times that the pets become lost. It's going to be actually holiday times when you have so many people coming in and out of your house and then they scoot through the door. Irving, you wouldn't do that, would you? And then they become lost. There was just a story the other day about a pet that had been lost for 5 years and it was just returned to the family.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it was a happy ending.
Yes, it was. It was a happy ending, but still,
let's not have that
if they had the chip, it might not have taken 5 years.
That's a great point.
Because all your humane societies and your first responders, that means police departments, fire departments, have the wand so they can identify, they can read the information on the chip.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. Technology really does help.
It really does.
Yeah, it really does help. Why is it so important? We talked about partnering with your vet, but throughout a pet's life, I mean, things can happen, right? They can eat something that they shouldn't eat. I mean, it's not just the knowledge, but they're there to help you when things happen.
Well, first of all, the reason we're partnering is because we want to know what things not to do.
Good point.
And be honest, it's not just a matter of what's to do generally for the dog or the cat, but each individual dog and cat may have things that are specific for them, like if they're diabetics. But then again, we want to partner with the pet because there's going to be things that happen throughout their lifetime that you want to be sure you are up on. Vaccinations, which we all hear people talking about. Vaccinations are probably the one thing that has managed to extend the lifespan of pets so long. Whereas it used to be 5 to 10 years for a pet, now we're talking about 10, 15, even 20 years for our pets.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And make sure that you are able to take care of that pet. There are African gray parrots, which people have, which are passed down in wills.
That means they're living for a long time.
Over 75 years.
Wow.
I know one African gray that was passed down through 3 wills.
Oh my gosh, I need to get one of those in my life because I love birds. That's just a really cool stat. Now, we talk about puppy training. If you get a brand new puppy or cat, do you have any kind of specific puppy training advice?
Well, if you are still looking at that puppy, I do recommend that you try and schedule so you receive the puppy in warm weather. So that means spring, because you want to be able to take them out as frequently as possible so that they can get used to not wetting inside the house.
Not making mistakes.
Then again, if they are inside, you want to have those piddle pads, and you want to encourage them to use the piddle pads so they're not wetting your carpet. You want them to get to know the places. And then have a nice, comfortable place for them to go to, like the crate. And the crate is not an area of punishment.
Yeah.
The crate is a place for them to feel comfortable. That is a safe zone for them.
Yeah.
So make it so that they have a safe place. And you'd be amazed. They're going to get to the point where when they're tired, they're going to go into their crate and they're going to sleep. But if you have to go away on a trip or something, a cat, yes, you can train cats. And if the cat is used to going into their little crate and whatnot, then they're not going to be upset when it comes time for them to go. And so you can take your trip wherever you want to go as a family.
That is great advice.
But one last thing I do want to add, if you do plan on traveling, once again, talk with your veterinarian. Health certificates are vital whenever you cross state lines and especially international lines.
Good to know. Dr. Bailey, such great tips. Thank you so very much. I feel like we can talk forever, but I'm going to tell people where they can get these great tips. Thank you again.
You can look at avma.org or go to your local veterinarian, and they're going to help you out all day long.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Again, for more great tips and to view the fact sheet for new pet owners, visit the American Veterinary Medical Association website at avma.org. Thanks again.